Hello, we are back for another episode. I've just driven down to the Canal in Leeds to do a run. So I've got 8k easy. I'm going to take you along with me today, tell you what I've been up to on the running front for the last couple of weeks, and yeah, fill you all in on where I'm at and how I think it's going and what I've decided to do about London Marathon. Let's get ready. Can't believe how nice a day it is here. My car was reading 17 degrees, so that is a rare treat. So yeah, I'm enjoying the sunshine. Makes such a difference for getting out the door. And yeah, maybe I'll get a little tan. So I last took you on my walk runs, which I was doing out in Mallorca. If you didn't see episode 1, then check out that. So I've been building back. It's been just over 3 weeks since I've been doing them. So I'll just talk you through like the last 2 weeks and how my runs have looked and how they're feeling. I am 1k into my 8k today and keeping it nice and easy. So I like to keep my heart rate under 140 and the pace will just be what it is. So right now I'm running about 4:35 pace, heart rate's 132, and I'll just try and keep it here at this like light effort for all of my runs at the moment. What's great about the Canal is a lot of it, or there's a good chunk of it, which is basically like a hard compact trail, so it's a bit softer than running on the road. So I really like that for my easy runs and even for some sessions, just to lighten the load, less force going through your joints, and hopefully just protect my shins a little bit. I do some sessions down here sometimes, but and just do them to pace, but don't get so obsessed about the pace being like my fastest pace, because this surface it's just like a fraction slower, I would say, than the road, even on a nice day, and even worse on a windy day, because I feel like the wind is always like directly in your face in one way, so it'll be pretty tough. At the moment I've just been running alternate days. My shin has been like a little bit up and down, I think very hypersensitive in that area. So I've just been extra cautious with it, making sure that, I'm leaving enough time in between runs for it to recover. Once I built up to kind of like that 35 minutes, which I managed to do after just 2.5 weeks, I have basically been sticking around that. So running every day, around 8k and one run a week, so it tends to be like every third run. I've been able to push that up to 10k. So miles aren't high, miles are all easy, but and they're feeling generally good, but there's just something in the back of my mind that doesn't feel like that confident to start upping it even more, and I don't feel quite ready for those back-to-back runs yet. So we're just taking it each one as it comes, no pressure. Like, for example, yesterday I did have a run, but I decided to push it back. So that was 2 days in between that one. But this one's feeling good. So yeah, just gotta roll with it, listen to your body, not get too set on a plan, and see what happens after each run and how it responds with each run. So my 8k is done. I averaged 4:26 pace for that run, and my average heart rate was 137, so under that 140, which was good. I'm off to the gym now to do my strength and conditioning, and then back home to get Ivy, have dinner, and do all the usual. I'm going to take you along this week for a double threshold day. Now, obviously, we know that's not running, but what I am doing once a week, I'm doing a hard swim and a hard bike. So I'll take you along, show you what that is all about. I think these are what are keeping me really fit at the moment, and I'm actually really enjoying them. I find actually I always kind of dread the afternoon session, thinking that I'm going to feel terrible, but once I get on the bike, I feel a lot better than expected. I'm recovering well from them as well. So yeah, they're staying in at the moment, and I actually will be quite sad if and when they go. Right, gym time. It is Tuesday, which for me means double threshold day. So I do a morning swim and then a afternoon bike. So I'm up at Leeds Beckett University campus. We have there's a talent hub up here for elite athletes. So I'm part of that program, and with that there is a swim club twice a week. It's predominantly for kind of people who are going through periods of injury or niggles. But I kind of keep it in there most of the time as part of my cross training. And the moment I'm doing 2 of them a week, but often if I'm back in full training, I'll just do 1. So the pool it's an older pool, it's actually just behind me there. It is in yards rather than meters. So all our sessions are set, we just call them like the same as you would if you're in a 25 metre pool. We'll just say like 100s, 200s. So we'll find out what I've got today. Come along. This is what I have today. So main is 20 by 100, so that's 100 yards, with 5 off 140 and 5 off 135. So I'll be aiming for around like 118, 120 for those hundreds, and just trying to keep as nice as consistent as possible even when the rest drop down. So yeah, here we go. Beckett Pool. Session done, super happy with that. Was feeling like a bit slow at the start. Was hitting like the 119s, but just felt like I couldn't really push anymore. But then from halfway, was able to find extra gear and was down to kind of 116s and 115s. Last set of 5 was at 114s. So yeah, super happy with that. I'll convert it from yards into meters because I have no idea what it is on the top of my head. So did my conversion and it works out at around like 118 per 100 yards is around 125 per 100 meters. So yeah, I think I would have got down to around about like just under 125, close to 120 at the end of the session. So yeah, very happy with that. Pretty consistent to what I usually do, to be honest. I'm usually in around that. I usually take a while to get started, and then I'm able to pick it up and hold it towards the end. What surprised me was I actually felt good even with the shorter recoveries, because the session had 5 seconds less in recovery for the reps between 5 and 10 and 15 and 20. So yeah, take that one off, see how we feel later on the bike. Hopefully these goggle marks will come down because I've got some calls now. So yeah, that's double threshold day part 1. So we are back for part 2 of my double threshold day. I'm about to get on the turbo for 90 minutes. I've actually been following the Zwift Build Me Up plan, and this is not an ad, this is not sponsored by Zwift. I found these workouts just a really great level of intensity. The workouts are predominantly at sweet spot effort. So for me, that's what I would classify as kind of around zone 3. It's about 75 to 90% of your FTP. And it's a 12-week long program with about 4 bikes per week. And they last on average probably about 90 minutes, but they do kind of get up to 2 hours. Some of them are down at 1 hour. So fairly kind of like substantial workouts. And over the course of the 12 weeks, you kind of progress from doing more sweet spot workouts, building up to threshold, which is what you can hold for around an hour. And then they also throw in the later stages of the plan, some like hard VO2 efforts, which are harder than your FTP. So I'm kind of at the middle of the plan at the moment. And today I'm going to do a workout, which is called Kirizuma. Zwift always like to kind of have some fun names for their workout. But essentially today, it's 3 blocks of pyramids, starting at 4 minutes at, for me, it's 220 watts, so just under my FTP, getting up to 2 minutes at around FTP, and then you've got a 1 minute effort above FTP, and then a 30-second effort. For me, it's at 260 watts, so
I classify that as kind of like around a VO2 effort before you come back down the pyramid. So you do that 3 times, and then I'm finishing off with 60 seconds at 260 watts. So again, that's like higher than my 235 watt FTP. So they'll be pretty hard at the end of that session. So it's 90 minutes today. I typically actually find once I've swum in the morning that I feel actually pretty good in the afternoon. I think it just kind of wakes me up, gets my system ready. I'm feeling pretty fired up. By the evening, I will be shattered. But I'll just make sure that I fuel well. I've got my bottles filled with carb drinks. I've got some gels on hand, and that will really kind of help with that recovery. So yeah, let's get going. Warming up, watching some Netflix before the hard work starts. Warm up nearly finished, had 10 minutes easy, and then had 6 by 1 minute, starting from 175 watts, and those progressed up to FTP at 235 watts. So got the legs turning a bit, get the heart rate up a wee bit, and now just 2 minutes easy at 130 watts before I start the pyramids. Here's in a bun, it's getting serious. Doing 60 watt efforts. Workout done, just cooling down, nice and easy, like 100 watts, heart rate's like 109, so yeah, that was really good, really happy with how that went. I was kind of nervous about those last 1 minute intervals at the end. There was 5 of them, they went good. The hardest bit actually was coming back down the pyramid. I think when you hit the top and then you think, oh, it'll be easy now, and it just isn't, so that was the toughest bit. Mentally, grinded through another good day in the bank. So yeah, get some food, pick up Abby from nursery, and that's a double threshold day. Some people have been asking what a typical week is looking like, given I'm doing quite a lot of volume on the bike, not that much running, plus a few swims, gym, and reformer Pilates. So I'll share on the next screen exactly what I've done Monday to Sunday this past week. Now the question I think a lot of people might be thinking is, I'm not running that much at the moment. How on earth am I going to get to London Marathon? It's fastly approaching. So I was really at one point thinking I would do this build back into running, see how I was feeling, and then just take quite a risky few weeks getting there. And a lot of people are asking like, well, why would you do that after the injury history I've just had for the past few years? And for me, there was something quite important about doing the marathon in my postpartum period. I want to expand my family. I want to have another child at some point. And I've actually found this kind of window quite tricky in trying to get back to doing some kind of performances, have my own body to myself at the moment before hopefully I have another child at some point. And for me, the marathon, it just held a lot of power. I really wanted to prove that to myself that I still had it in there after not being that successful in getting there since the Olympics. So I just put unnecessary pressure on it. And I think actually reflecting and hearing other people's stories about the same kind of feeling they have about the marathon, even speaking to some of my clients about how we just always want to strive, or a lot of people want to strive to do a marathon, to define themselves as a runner. And actually, there are lots of other race distances which are just as important. And actually, I probably shy away from things like the 5K, 10K, because I find them a lot harder. Like, speed is not natural for me. So yeah, that's why I put so much pressure on it and was willing to kind of take that risk. But as the weeks have passed and I've started to get a few runs under my belt, mainly just 8K, the most I run is 10K, I actually just wasn't feeling that confident. So I've decided to pull the plug on London Marathon and just focus on getting back, running consistently 4 times a week, introduce some faster running, see how I go with that, and then work towards doing a 5K or 10K later in the spring or early summer. So stay tuned to find out what that race will be.